Twitter,
that was tough.
Twitter came through. Yesterday, I late in the show yesterday, I'm like, what have we got here? Like, is this going to be an off-season, weeks, months of, like, getting after Brandon Beane, not just for, and not everybody was bothered, but, like, yesterday's performance, but, you know, like, sort of everything ended up on our table yesterday. Everything that happened with the Bills. And I was sort of not expecting that. I thought usually, you know, there'd be more people than there were here to apologize for him and just be like, go Bills, right? Mm-hmm. Twitter did afford me that, at least.
Sure.
Twitter reminded me that we're all the worst, and he's human. I was told that one today. You know, he's human. We're not. He's human. Yep. You know, that's what I was kind of more expecting on the air yesterday, just people making excuses for whatever that was, between like weird to unprofessional, whatever that was. It didn't really happen. It did. I mean, you can't overreact to such a small sample size. Even Twitter is a pretty small sample size.
Sure.
But it did really seem stark how many how many skeletons came out yesterday. Like, and, you know, trading up. I mean, Emmanuel Sanders was mentioned yesterday as like proof of their incompetence at that position, or if not incompetence, lack of understanding or, you know, commitment, whatever. And so I don't know if I'm here. I mean, I work here. I'm not sure I'm prepared for an entire summer of that, and I doubt there will be one.
I feel like it's gonna, you know, it'll run its course eventually. I mean, not that we've got a lot of other things to distract us right now, but eventually, I mean, we're only a couple of weeks away from the schedule.
Oh,
right. So
we need that schedule.
So that's coming. Didn't you think during the draft when they brought, I forget the names of the two women who came out on stage to perform that? At least that was on ESPN. I assume that was a part of the draft coverage wherever you were watching it. I thought for sure they were going to announce a game. Like a Green Bay game, like a primetime Green Bay game, just because we're here. And like the announcement is simply that you have a night, you're announcing the announcement, like the date of the announcement.
Yes.
I don't know. I just thought there would be more there. I thought there might be, I was waiting for, you know, something about a game.
I was waiting, as much as I love the schedule, I was waiting for it to end. All right, you're here to tell me that? Great, leave.
Right. Well, that's why I thought there was going to be more to it than
leave.
Just the date of the schedule, because it seemed like a lot to go through to just have that be the result.
The
of
whole
that
big
appearance.
Script and back and forth, and just like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really think about that. I only thought about how last year, if not other years, they haven't released the date in advance. More than like a day or two.
Right, we're usually guessing for a while, and then it just comes up like on a Monday, like, hey, it's going to be Thursday.
It's going to be Thursday.
Like yeah.
Right. In this case, May 14th. So that's right. You can count that down.
Yeah.
I will be doing that. I want to get to May 1st, probably.
Yeah, I think, I think when this week ends and we begin next week, I feel like the schedule watch will be kind of a, you know, somewhat semi-regular portion of maybe replacing what wide receiver do we want the Bills to pick.
Maybe.
As a semi-regular, if not flat-out regular segment on the show.
4, 9. So it's 12 shows away.
All right.
I might start a new working schedule.
Yeah. Oh, right.
I was working on one, and then I made a mistake on it, and I just was done. But I might want to get back to that.
Oh, right. You used a different font for a home game, and it was supposed to be a road game, or vice versa.
I mixed
or something.
up where the games against the NFC North teams were.
Yeah.
I had it backwards.
You can't stand for that.
You can't stand for that.
No,
we'll have to start over. Well, the draft is over, and it is Tuesday. How about a fresh look at the AFC by way of the reverse AFC Power Rankings, powered by Empire Electric, your residential neighborhood electrician. Visit empireelectricians.com. Who had a good draft, who didn't. I have the PFF grades for each team. If you want them, if you want me to pick a different site, I will. These were a little bit nice.
I'm fine.
A little bit on the generous side, I thought.
I'm fine with that. I have not looked at all of the PFF grades, so I'm prepared to step in it here by, dinging teams that I have traditionally dinged in this segment who may have, I don't know, is there an A+++ in the grades, or do they stop at A?
I've seen an A+, I think, but
Okay.
I'm not sure I've seen 2 pluses in one place. Also, it's a new sheet today, so I don't have, they're up there if you want them, I don't have the last one in front of me to sort of work off of. Going blind.
Oof, wow, what a commitment.
I will look at the names of the teams, but I will not look at
Yeah.
wasn't last week either, whenever the last time we did this was. It's only been 1 or 2 in a month or so.
Yeah, we did one on a Friday, I think.
Oh.
Friday before last, I think, was the last time we did this.
Good of us to give the Friday listeners something. All right, 16.
Well, despite not having the sheet in front of you, I do recall who was in the 16th spot last time, and I am not necessarily of the mind to change off of that based on the results of the draft. Again, not knowing what kind of grade they got. But I know that the Pittsburgh Steelers only got around to addressing quarterback with mid-round Will Howard, I believe.
Yep.
So I think it's fair to question what exactly their plan is there. And if it is still waiting for Aaron Rodgers, that is sad and pathetic, and they deserve to be in the top spot here, in my opinion.
Pittsburgh, B+. You don't care about that then?
No, I really don't.
They didn't have that many picks either. No second-round pick. I think I could get there. I like the Jets to nominate. I'll nominate the Jets for this. No quarterback pick either. It's Justin Fields for now. Tackle, tight end, corner, just sort of their draft, I think. Also B+ from PFF.
I do think they might have the makings of sort of getting their offensive line together, which will be a nice step once they find someone competent to play behind it, which they, to me, clearly still do not have if their plan is Justin Fields, and it seems pretty clear that that is their plan.
For now, at least.
Yeah.
I'll go with the Jets.
I'll go Pittsburgh. They kind of feel like they're in no man's land.
Okay. 15.
I can get there on the Jets with you.
Okay. 14.
Cleveland. That shot of Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Barry having the really sad golf clap when they drafted Shedeur Sanders.
They did that for everybody.
They did that for everybody, but it felt like a low-stakes hostage situation that Jimmy Haslam called up and went, it's our last pick. You know who you have to take. That whole building feels super uncomfortable.
What have they got? Flacco, Pickett. Is Flacco the betting favorite to be the opening day starter there?
I don't know. Probably.
Probably.
I feel like I was told that. Maybe my kid mentioned it. I don't know. I'm not combing that corner of the betting internet to find out what the odds are on starting quarterbacks for the Browns or anyone else for that matter. But I heard something about that. So it's the Browns have Flacco, Pickett, Sanders now. What else is going on? They got like 2 other guys, too?
Dylan Gabriel as well.
Dylan Gabriel, they drafted ahead of Sanders. That's right.
And then Deshaun Watson is still technically on the roster.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's not great. I would love to know, was it the owner who stepped in and just how, but what they, really might have had planned. It was also, even though it was early in the 5th round, it was their last pick. So it had the vibes of the fantasy guy that is just like exhausted.
I wanted to come out of this.
I got to get out of here.
I wanted to come out of this with this guy, and now I can do it.
Maybe
and then
that,
I can go
but
home.
just somebody who wants to leave.
Okay.
Because, by the end rounds in your fantasy draft, everybody's walking around.
I definitely have experience with both of those. I really wanted this guy. I can get this guy now. I'm going to get this guy. And also, my God, when is this ending? I need to go home.
Yeah, it's time to wrap this up. The Browns gave off some it's time to wrap this up looks there. Feels. Okay. I do like the Hunter trade. I mean, they drafted a second one also, but they got a running back at 36 from one of Jacksonville's picks and the first next year. It's, not a sure thing. It never is, because Hunter might be incredible, but
they're armed.
I thought it was worth doing.
Yeah, they're armed. I agree. Not that you wouldn't expect to figure out quarterback eventually, but from a roster building standpoint, I know you got to get the guys you can get when you can get them, but I never like the idea of I'm going to draft this receiver. We're going to pay him a massive contract. He's the second pick in the draft, and we don't really have quarterback figured out. And so his first year, maybe by year 2, but that's probably a rookie. So did we get that right? Training wheels. You're into year 3, maybe, before you even know if you have quarterback figured out. So you've burned through the front end of that rookie contract for the receiver without really having any stability at quarterback. Maybe. So I don't like paying a big price for an asset like that I'm not sure I'm ready to use effectively.
I do hope that the quarterback competition there, if there is one, sounds good. It's not just meaningless comments from the coach that you really can't believe. I want it to be a real one, whatever that means. Even if it's just the 2 rookies. Somebody's probably not on the team, I would think, if you've got these 4 guys.
Yeah.
Although maybe you could put, if not Sanders, Dylan Gabriel on the practice squad and get away with it. I mean, he was not a great prospect. Okay, Browns. 13. Tennessee.
All right. Long way to go here, Titans. A lot of work to do.
And really, only so much optimism for Ward.
Yes.
He has his supporters, and so does the pick. Passing on Hunter and Abdul Carter for Ward, all right, we get it. But it's not the perfect year to be in that spot. And, that's what they did. Tennessee got an A from PFF. Probably helps to have the 101. 12.
I'm inclined to say Miami here.
Whoa.
Which is early for me. I recognize.
That was halfway between whoa and wow.
Yeah.
Please spell whoa correctly, world. WHOA. Thank you. Miami at 12. It's not WOA like Noah, like you see all the time.
Right. Not an H on it.
It's not the word Noah, only with a W.
I just feel like everything's off there, to me. Just a little bit off. I think they probably are going to regret not moving on from the coach already. Like this year feels like the year where the football world's going to look at the Dolphins and go, I guess that didn't work. They gave it one more year because there was so much promise at the beginning of it, but I just think it's going the wrong way there.
All right. It's different. 11.
Indianapolis.
Okay. My ADP chasing team thought Indianapolis should have drafted Sanders or Milroe on day 2 because, just like, as they put it, thinking about quarterback probabilistically, you don't really have it. Why not get someone else and make it interesting? But of course, and they didn't need to be told this, teams never do that. Teams almost never do that. The Browns, here are kind of doing that by drafting Sanders after the other guy they picked. But the Colts have enough stuff to deal with already with the 2 guys that adding another one who might just immediately look better than both of your other 2, they're not going to want to sign up for that. And they didn't. But you get the logic.
I get the logic, yeah. Maybe a further deterrent to doing that is that one of the guys that would have made sense, you mentioned, like Milroe, is, compared not all that favorably with Richardson, right? Like maybe Richardson is the reason Milroe wasn't a higher pick. If Milroe comes along when Richardson came along, maybe Milroe's the 5th pick in the draft, like Richardson. But now there's orange caution tape or yellow caution tape all over that idea. So we better not Toolsy. Maybe that's not the best idea. So adding him specifically not that they would have to have added him, but he would have been a candidate at that spot. I think. Mm-hmm. would have been weird. What are we doing here? We're getting another guy that can't play.
Just how does a coach what I said about the Browns is I kind of want to think Stefanski can handle it. He's been around. He's had success. I don't know if the Colts guy can handle it. So all the more reason, not that that's like a good reason, but maybe it isn't a bad one either, to avoid further drama. 10. Patriots or Raiders, right? Or Jacksonville.
I want to give Jacksonville a little respect for the Hunter trade. I feel like that's so. I'm not going to get to them yet. I'll say New England.
I think I want to say Jacksonville, though.
Oh.
Jacksonville has a chance to be fun. I still don't know how talented they are. I'll go Jacksonville here.
I think New England is starting to make sense. Jacksonville at 10. 9. Jacksonville at running back will be very interesting. They drafted a guy, one of the many running backs, like to crush on, Bashal Tutin. They did it early in round 4. They still have ETN. They have Tank Bigsby, who came on last year. That's crowded. And it may be that Tutin is like immediately their best, but he's also a 4th-round pick. New coach, though. Anything's possible there.
Right.
This is the guy the coach picked. 9.
And the coach certainly was not hesitant at all to put Bucky Irving in last year on offense.
In Tampa,
if
right.
It was his call. But
that's right. He was the offensive coordinator in Tampa.
Right. So then Raiders next. What do you want to do here? It was Raiders in New England, and then Jacksonville stormed in.
I'll go New England here.
I'll say Raiders.
Ooh, I get to be tiebreaker. I generally feel like New England is going to be better sooner than the Raiders. I don't know when that will be exactly, and I don't know if that will be, 8 wins to 7 or 7 to 6 for each side, but I think I'll go Raiders first.
Okay. Jack Besh to the Raiders in round 2. Genty, I'm just excited to see it. I could never get to, I want my team to do that, a running back so early, but I'd also think, it's going to be fun and interesting. So there's that. New England at 8, then?
Sure.
Drake May, Travion Henderson, if not also Stevenson, Diggs, Kyle Williams, receiver in round 3 for the Patriots. Diggs is a question mark, so is any rookie. But Henderson seems pretty exciting, and it's starting to look like maybe they're not. They drafted a kicker in the 6th round. Maybe they're not just completely empty, cupboards.
Yeah, they got the tackle with the short arms and the short wingspan, but I think the guy's gonna be a hell of a football player for them. So I'm all right. I like them.
At 8, big fall for New England. They've got to be excited. Got to tell Mike Giardi on Thursday that New England is down to 8.
They're sniffing at a playoff spot here.
Wow. And on this list, easily the second best AFC East team. 7. Houston.
Sure. I think I like them less than both of the other 2 AFC West teams that aren't the Chiefs.
Woody Marks. Houston drafted running back Woody Marks. Way higher than the consensus had him. He's the guy who went as Woody 7 years in a row on Halloween.
Okay.
And took on the nickname Woody. 4th-round pick. Ahead of Dylan Sampson, who had, I think, way more love in the draft world than Marks. And they traded up for him. Marks off for that. No pun intended. 6.
Denver.
Bengals.
Ooh.
Bengals.
Wow. All right.
They drafted the way they should have, and nobody liked their draft. I shouldn't say nobody. But everything I read on the Bengals was, good idea. Evan Silva was this way. PFF was this way. Good idea, but not the right guys. Maybe Mr. Goodberry would see that differently.
What does that mean? Like positional, like you did what you should have done positionally, but pick the wrong players for those positions.
Yes.
Okay.
Shamar Stewart in the first round,
Right, okay.
but he didn't really do anything.
Right.
And then linebacker Demetrius Knight in the second round. All-around linebacker, one of the older prospects in the draft. Maybe, just sensible, safe even, but how good are your new players? 5.
I guess I'll say Broncos again.
I'll say Chargers.
Broncos.
Those two are always close. 4.
Chargers.
Yep.
Let's keep them close, right?
3. Bills.
Sure.
2. Baltimore.
Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm going to say Chiefs too.
Okay. I had a feeling of let's see order restored with the Chiefs at 1, but there were good reasons to knock them. Their offseason pre-draft was criticized, more losses than gains, and people liked their draft and, the Bills and the Ravens, but we had, them ranked lower or higher in this case before. They did win the AFC. Omar Norman Lott, round 2. Defensive tackle, right around where the Bills would have picked. And my buddy and I, watching night 2 of the draft, were having fun with, you're going to get calls. The Bills could have had Omar Norman Lott if they had just
stayed put, right?
Stayed put.
So we're going to be doing Xavier Worthy / Keon Coleman with, what's this guy's name again?
Omar Norman Lott.
And TJ Sanders?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Arguably the best true pass rushing defensive tackle in the class. Look out. Know the name.
Wow.
Or do yourself a favor and not know the name. Just, enjoy the sunshine today. 803-0550. Maybe you're feeling some carryover from yesterday. Something you wanted to say that didn't get said or whatever. We'll look for that and talk more about the draft.